So now for a little bit of blog navigation here, I need to use some breadcrumbs, like probably above the title or maybe just right below it, probably right above it. So let's go. The reason why is we want to be able to, like, we can't select blog here because it's an active page, but we need to be able to like go back to the blog or the home. So I just want to look at the contact page real quick. Yeah, okay. So back to blog. So we're going to go to our blog page. So like the main one. No, this is right. So featured blog. And so above the title, we can do a couple things here. In the aside, above the title in the sidebar, we're going to include our breadcrumbs right here. So that shows up right there. Small, yeah. So small is good, but we need to set our global CSS. We need to set our small to be the primary dark color. So we see our breadcrumbs over here. They're now in the correct color. And I can see a use for this being a component. We will do a component. All right, so we should already have a breadcrumbs component, but I don't think it's going to work. Let's see what happens. So let's do breadcrumbs container, and then it's expecting children, which we could do. You know, I don't think this does anything now. So we'll leave that as a breadcrumbs container, and then in our breadcrumbs, we're going to create a new file, breadcrumbs.tsx. We're going to export function breadcrumbs return small. Well, actually, let's return a span of smalls because we're going to have small, not even a span of smalls, because we're going to need a link and then do home. Let's do it this way because we'll want an array of objects which will have our link and text. So let's set this up with breadcrumbs and then as a type, so interface, we'll do breadcrumbs. Breadcrumb props, I guess, would be a good name for it. Don't need that equal sign. And here for each breadcrumb, we want a link, which can be a string. And then we want a name, which is also a string. Both are link is not required because the final object will be unclickable because you don't want to be able to click on the same page that you're on. It doesn't make sense. So we'll do breadcrumb props, and that's going to be that. And then breadcrumbs will be breadcrumb props. Great. So now we can, in this span, we'll do breadcrumbs.map and then have for every breadcrumb, and then we'll have an index, and then we'll have our array so we can keep track of when the last one is. Set this to be that. Oh, everything is a mess right now, but I think it's just because of the typing. So let's just get everything out there first. So for our breadcrumbs, we'll have, we'll say link, then href will be link, link. Okay, and then this will be name breadcrumb. All right, and then add a key of index. So this is where TypeScript really gets me. So let's set this out here instead. Return, so breadcrumb we can set as breadcrumb props. So I don't want it to be a URL index, which is going to be a number, and then array. So let's change some things up real quick. So type breadcrumb props equal to all of that. Set you to be breadcrumb props. All right, so now let's just get the name in. Breadcrumb.name. There we go. Get rid of the array. Okay, that feels better. Don't know why that was so difficult. All right, so now we can do link, then href. We can do breadcrumb.link. Perfect. So now we can do, this actually needs to be, here we can do a small, because in here we need to have a separator, which will go back to our material U. And let's do, can I do, up is typed in. So let's do right, chevron right. Can I do double This one looks better to me. So we'll do that, and then fill current color. Hit that. So nothing will show up because I haven't done anything yet. So, which here is actually index plus 1 is less than that. If not, we'll do small, and then breadcrumb dot name. So now we're going to go over to our breadcrumbs container here and do breadcrumbs, which is going to have our breadcrumbs. Did I export this right? I did. Let's export breadcrumbs from breadcrumbs, import breadcrumbs, get rid of all that. Okay, so that's imported correctly. And now breadcrumbs is expecting our breadcrumbs, which just for now, we're going to have const breadcrumbs is equal to a list of, we have our home page, we have the blog page, and then we have our blog.title. So then I know name needs to be blog, and link needs to be, well, here I can just do /blog. And then for home, link, and then name home. And then we can do our breadcrumbs there. Let's see what happens. Breadcrumbs.map is not a function. Should be. There we go. All right. So, one error, I need the key. All right, so we go back to there, and then we can do our small, do key index, perfect. So we also want this to be to lowercase. Then we're going to have to do some styling here as well, but that's going to not be too difficult. I don't know why I just like breadcrumbs to be lowercase. All right, and so what we're going to do is in our link, we'll do class name, classes, which does not exist quite yet. And then we'll do breadcrumb link. And then down here, we'll do classes, or sorry, class name, classes, breadcrumb. We will import our classes before we move over. So import classes from index.module. Okay, come over here, and I'm gonna have to adjust a lot of what that says, but first in our breadcrumb link, we'll do font weight bold with text decoration of underline, because these are links and I want them to look like that. Now we look at what we have here. So we have two smalls and a span. So first of all, let's just get display flex. No, the span display flex also needs to happen. Okay, so quite a few things happening here. So let's start here. So we have a breadcrumbs container, which is doing absolutely nothing. So set flex here, unset flex here. All right, so we have this P. Is that my breadcrumbs container? It is. Don't love that. So let's set that to be a div. Refresh. Okay, that's better. So now in our breadcrumbs container, it is currently still flex. Flex wrap of wrap. Line item center, margin top of 0. So these are still not doing anything. Totally fine. This span though needs to be display flex, and then flex wrap, no wrap. So each small, hopefully, there we go. Okay, so in our breadcrumbs, we need to go back to the small. So we need to add a class to the span and a class to each small. Class name equals classes dot, and we'll do here, do I actually need this span? I don't think I need this span. Okay, there we go. So then we need the small then. That breadcrumb already has it, so then class name we can do, oh, we could just do breadcrumb here, because that shouldn't change the link itself. Great. So breadcrumbs should be display flex, and there we go. So let's go ahead and align item center and then do flex rep. So all of these are about the same size, if I'm correct. Yeah. I don't like how these are bold, but I don't think it's their fault. That's just part of the icon. So let's see if we can find a smaller icon. And by smaller, I mean thinner. Does not look like there are any, so that's fine. It looks like it fits in, so I'm okay with that. But they do look a little big. So there are 24 pixels. I should be able to change that. Let's set our height to 12 is too little, but 18 looks good. One rem. It's always one rem. All right, so then we'll do breadcrumb link. Let's go to breadcrumbs and do height of 1 rem. Should take that, I believe. Yes, there we go. So that looks pretty good. And then it does rep, which is perfect. And now it does not take me to the blog because I need to, in my breadcrumbs, here I have our link. Can I get rid of that? And then that, home and blog, perfect. Great, so now I can go back to the blog and be good and go to a different blog, and then I'm able to see. So let's set the sidebar to be just a little bit different. That way, sidebar container, the top, where's the sticky part? Top 0. That way there's just a little bit more breathing room. And it should probably, just like all of my other spacing, 1 rem, and then that looks great.